Hey, what is up everybody and welcome back to a brand new video today here on CodeNamePizza. And in today's video, we've got the full Easter egg guide for the ARCHON Easter egg. Is that what we're calling it? I don't know. But the Easter egg and boss fight for the ARCHON, the final DLC of Vanguard Zombies. Without further ado, leave a like on the video if this helps you out. Subscribe if you are brand new. Road to 1 million. Let's jump straight into this thing. So the first step to the Easter egg is to build Pack-a-Punch. There's two parts to the Pack-a-Punch machine. You'll find one inside of the derailment area and one inside of the spike area. Once you've got those two parts, go back to the Pack-a-Punch machine, place them on, and you'll have a mini lockdown where you've just got to kill a few zombies around it, let all their souls go into the Pack-a-Punch machine, and you'll know this is complete when the screen goes white. After that, you will see this little table rise up from the ground, and you can place on a mirror onto that pedestal. After some dialogue, you'll see a portal open. You can then enter the portal after a bit more dialogue and go inside of the boss fight area. But this isn't the real boss fight. After killing a few zombies, you will be downed by the boss himself. Don't worry, this is intentional. And then you'll be teleported back to the map. At this point, 3 obelisks will spawn into the map, and you'll have to complete different challenges to complete different obelisks. You can do these in any order, but this is the order that I did. The obelisk on Merchant's Road, you've got to go and get a shovel near the quick revive area. So in front of quick revive, there will be a shovel. Pick up the shovel and then make your way to Merchant Road. At this point, you'll be able to dig up an orb that you'll see fly up and go inside of the obelisk. There's 2 dig sites, so just make sure that you do both of them and you're guaranteed the orb from one of them. The orb will then fly onto this wall where you can interact with it. As soon as you interact with that orb, it's going to show 3 symbols back to back. You need to memorize that order of symbols, because as soon as the symbols have been shown, they will then also be on the ground, but there'll be added ones that you don't want to use. Just stand on those circles or symbols in the correct order you were shown on the wall, one after another, and then you'll be given a challenge. There's many challenges that you can be given. You might get one where you can't take damage for 60 seconds, or where you can only use a pistol for 60 seconds. They're all pretty basic, but if you do fail one, you will have to skip the round and try again. After you've completed that challenge, you'll then have to go and interact with the orb again, where you've got to do the exact same process, but there'll be an extra symbol, so you'll have to do 4 symbols in a row. Once again, give it another challenge, and then after this, you'll have to do it one more time with 5 sets of symbols, and then you'll be able to go into the final trial that is on the obelisk itself. This final trial will be the same every single game, and you'll have symbols on the ground that you've got to stand inside of. You can do these in any order, and for a solo game, you only have to do 5, but in co-op, I believe it's 10. And you also can't deal damage to zombies. If you kill 1 zombie in co-op, you will fail, but inside of solo, you get 3 chances, so it gives you a little bit of leeway. After you've stood in the correct number, the challenge will be done and you'll be finished with that obelisk. Now for the second obelisk. This is going to be located over inside of the debris field area. The orb for this obelisk can be found in one of the crystals. So you've got shining crystals all around the map, but inside of this specific area, one of the crystals, when you break it, will have an orb come out. Make sure you look around a decent amount, because some of them can be located on top of rocks. But once you've shot it, the orb will come out of one of them, and then you can interact with that orb. Once you interact with that orb, it will then tell you to go and find 3 things. The first thing that you need to find is a hat, and it will be located inside of the tents. Go and pick up the hat that's inside of the tent near spawn, and then make your way back to that orb. Give the orb the hat, and now you've got to do the exact same thing, but for the next item, which is a cursed skull. And this can be found inside of the upstairs of the bazaar. Once again, pick up the skull, take it back to the orb, give it to the orb, and then for the final 3rd one, you need to make your way over to the derailment area, where you'll find a cursed femur at this dig site in the far left corner of the area. So dig up the femur, pick it up, take it back to the orb, give it to the orb, and then you'll be ready to go to the final trial. For the final trial, you'll be given the shield that will drop down to this place right here. Pick up the shield. Now you'll have the meat pillars spawn inside of the map. And for solo, you only have to do 3, but for co-op, you have to do 5. You've got to use the left trigger ability of the shield, which has a 30-second refresh rate. So you can only do this every 30 seconds. Do the left trigger attack, breaking that meat pillar, and then scooping up the blood from the meat pillar, and then taking it over to this urn and dropping it in. You've got to do this for the 3 meat pillars on solo once again, and 5 meat pillars for co-op. Once you fill that whole urn up, you'll have completed that challenge, and you are ready to go over to the next and final obelisk. The final obelisk can be found inside of the derailment area, and you need to make sure that you get 3 Molotovs for this. So the Molotov actually has a wall buy for 500 points, and you can go and get this just outside of the derailment area. You need to light up 3 torches inside of that derailment area. One of them can be located inside of the actual rail cart itself going into the area, so just throw a Molotov at that. The next one can be located just a little bit over the right-hand side of this area, where you can throw another Molotov at it, and then over the far right, you'll find another torch that you can light up with a Molotov cocktail. After you've lit all 3, you then need to sacrifice a Pack-a-Punched weapon to the orb. So make sure you give it a bad Pack-a-Punched weapon. After this, for me, in my game, I had to kill a big guy that spawned in, so the boss zombie. Kill him, and the orb will come out, and then go over to the obelisk itself. And then you can activate activate the final stage of this obelisk. And once it's activated, drop down to where I am right here and pick up the Ring of Fire drop. After you've got Ring of Fire, make your way on top of the actual train itself and kill zombies around the main obelisk. After you kill around 5 or 6 of these zombies, a specialist drop will spawn in, giving you your Ring of Fire. Now you've got 4 obelisks in either corner of this area to go and do Ring of Fire on, kill zombies collecting their souls until you see the red light coming off the obelisk to the middle one. Repeat this step, so go into the middle, get enough kills to get a specialist, go over to another obelisk in one of the corners and do Ring of Fire and kill zombies. Do this for each of the 4 obelisks around each corner, and then the challenge will be done. You are now ready to go inside of the boss fight. You go into the boss fight by interacting with the teleporter that's over near the pack-a-punch machine, and at this point in my game, I used a level 3 PPSH, so I actually think it's better to go in here with either an SMG, an AR, an LMG, a lot more than the usual shotgun or even a ray gun. Ray gun was trash when I used that. And for the first stage of the boss fight, the boss is going to spawn in. You got to make sure you avoid his lightning attacks and also the orb. They will instantly kill you. For the first phase, just put as much ammo as possible into the crystal on his forehead. You can damage him at basically any time. Just make sure you are avoiding those lightning beams. And once he spawns enemies into the map, train them all up and use your shield and you'll kill them so quickly. After this, you'll move on to the second phase. The second phase is a little bit more difficult. You've got to actually get rid of the crystals inside of this area, and by shooting the crystals, they'll give you red rock drops. Then you can put the red rocks inside of these plants, and then the plants will give you blue rocks. You then get the blue rocks, throw them at the rocks that are floating in the sky, and that will allow you to then damage the boss. Once the boss's shield is dropped by destroying those rocks in the sky, you then shoot at one of his eyes. The Ring of Fire makes this so quick. I literally finished this in 1 minute. And then after you finish the second phase, you make your way to the third phase, which is exactly the same, except he does have an ability where he can regen health. And right now, we don't know how to stop that. We think we just shoot it, but I still managed to beat this boss fight in probably about 5 minutes. So it's still pretty easy and pretty darn quick. So like I said, third phase, exactly the same as the second one. Just make sure you get those red crystals, place them inside of the plants to make blue crystals, and then get rid of the rocks. On solo, I only had to destroy 1 rock to damage him and get rid of his shield. On co-op, when we were playing a co-op game, we had to damage the number of rocks with how many players are in the game. So we had 3 players, so we had to get rid of 3 of the floating rocks inside of the sky. I'm hoping this helps you out. But there you go. That is all the Easter egg guide for the ARCHON brand new zombies map inside of Vanguard Zombies. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you out. Make sure you leave a like if you haven't done already. Subscribe if you are brand new. Road to 1 million. I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. Thank you for watching and peace out.